One of the interesting characteristics about Reza Pahlavi, and I say this as someone who has interviewed him multiple times and also have met with him beyond just interviews, I he's not someone who's very power hungry. This isn't someone who is in it for himself. I believe this is someone who genuinely has a heart for his people, for the people of Iran, and believes that he can oversee a change that would be positive for everyone involved. But one more interesting thing about Pahlavi is that even sources I have, who I spoke to several years ago about Pahlavi, who were kind of on the fence and weren't sure, and oh, well, I don't know if I really like him because I didn't really like the Shah. And there was a lot of that sentiment. Now, nothing. I haven't spoken to a single person on the ground, a liberal, a Democrat, whatever they define themselves as. Everyone wants Pahlavi back.
What does that mean for the United States? What does that mean for Israel? Countries that are, devout democracies, right? Because there are a lot of people out there who are pushing back and saying, why are we pushing for a monarchy? Why are we pushing for one man rule? Don't we already have that in Iran? So maybe help us understand the nuance of this.
So there's a few things that are important to understand from the perspective of the West. The first is that Reza Pahlavi himself is not advocating monarchy. We need to pay attention to what he actually is saying and what his record is as well, not just right now. His entire life, he has not advocated for a straight monarchy. Yes, there are some supporters who that is what they want. But you know what? Frankly, when it comes to the United States or other Western democracies, who are we to be telling the people of Iran what they choose as their system of government if that is indeed what they choose through a national referendum? That's their decision, not mine and not anyone else's. The second thing that's important to remember is that when it comes to Western democracies, why are we focusing in on Reza Pahlavi and whether or not there will be monarchy or constitutional monarchy or anything else when there are tons of monarchies all over the world that the United States has fantastic relationships with? Some of them are very stable countries. One of, the Trump administration's closest allies, Qatar or the UAE or any of the other Gulf countries, these are monarchies. So why is it that monarchy is good enough for those people, but not good enough for 90 million people in Iran when that is what they're calling for in the streets, if that is indeed what they choose through a national referendum, which is what this supposed or, future potential monarch himself is advocating for.
Mm.
If there was a monarch in Qatar that was saying, I want to oversee a transition to democracy, people wouldn't even be having this conversation. But because it involves that step of removing the Islamic Republic of Iran, people are looking for excuses. They're looking for easy ways out, easy ways to criticize what the opposition is. And I think that that's kind of a cheap shot, especially when you're looking at his record and what he himself actually advocates for.